Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Saturday extravaganza at Silverstone. We're here for the inaugural event for the OneHubRacing here on ACC with a 45-minute race and a full grid of drivers joining you at home. Myself, the drivers on track, and in the commentary box will be a young lady fresh from maintaining her streak of scoring a point in her opening season races last night in the Formula 1. And the resident voice here at OneHub is Jess Ball. How we doing, Jess?
Good afternoon, John. Good afternoon, everybody. I am doing absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited. A lot of you guys wanted this ACC event to happen on OneHubRacing, and guess what? We're doing it. It's a nice day here at Silverstone. The drivers have been gearing up for today's event, and I hope you're ready to see the action that we've got on store today. The drivers will be racing in the Grand Prix Arena version of the circuit, 5.9 kilometres long. This is where the start-finish straight is past Woodcote into Copse, so not the version you're used to in other series such as F1, for example. The drivers are currently in a practice session now, which will end in around about 9 minutes' time, and then they'll go into a 15-minute qualifying session where they'll try and set the fastest lap possible. Then we have a 45-minute race, which requires a mandatory pit stop as well as mandatory tyre change. All GT3 cars are available for this event, and all drivers could use as little or as many assists as they want. We've also got a mixed ability grid but that isn't going to stop us from covering some great action on track, John.
That, Jess, is very, very true. Mixed ability brings out the best ability in all classes, so it certainly does promise to be a cracker, and we have a stacked field here to battle it out at the home of British racing with a history stretching back to 1948. There's absolutely some justification to claim that this is one of the British greats. It's also one of the fastest circuits used on, as Jess and the resident viewers here at OneHub will know, in the F1 circuit. Definitely one of the quickest. Silverstone has developed from its windswept airfield origins into one of the most recognised in world motorsport, and the guys we've got on track for you today, ERT Dexter will be joining us. Of course, we've got Ben Gallagher, Schnitzel, Storm, we've got Alex Lilliot on track tonight. OKK is joining us. The boss man, Nick Grace-Egan, will be making an appearance, and so will his teammate Kyle. We've got Battle Angel, we've got another ERT driver as well, Khalifa, so we'll expect to see them. GM69 is joining us as well, and yet another ERT driver. The last one, I promise, it's Samba. We also have Gazaman, very, very new to ACC, but keep an eye on this young lad. Very, very, very good turn of pace. We've got Januel driving for us today as well. Lord Ash Wilson, very pompous. He's in a Bentley, strangely enough, so we'll expect big things from him here at the home of pretty much Bentley. Really, we've got Cam, whose name I'm not going to try and murder, but Cam will be joining us as well. So will Connor, Hookie, and Fleiss 422. He is in a Mercedes, and there it is, Jess. We have a list of drivers plying their trade. How about we have an on-board look, and let's show the viewers at home what the drivers face ahead of them.
Yes, indeed. We're going to go take you through a hot lap, and the person who's actually driving the hot lap for you today is none other than one of the people that's organised this event from ERT, of course, Dexter, who is racing in the Bentley tonight. So, you're past Woodcote now, into the start-finish straight. You'll be heading into Copse Corner. You don't really need to brake into Copse in F1, but in the GT3s, you'll need to apply the brakes. Fourth gear and stay in fourth until your car is straight, where you can go into fifth. Now you're going to be approaching the famous Maggots and Beckett's complex. You start this sequence of the corners. We're going to fourth at Maggots and third on the apex. Depending on the car, you can go either second or third at Beckett, and to fourth gear in Chapel Curve, just about coming up now. Coming up to the hangar straight, you really need to position your car to the left so you can get a good run into Stowe. Fourth, going up to sixth gear here, going on the straight. Now heading into Stowe, you'll be approaching Stowe, heading into fourth gear when you enter, and you're going to go to third gear on exit into Vale. Position your car to the right, and then only aim for the left apex as you head into Club Corner. First gear through here, and now you're going to be going into the newly named Hamilton Straight in fifth gear. Hamilton has won quite a few Grand Prix here. You're going to be little dabbed on the brakes to control the rate of the car as you head to the end of this straight, as you head towards Abbey. and then aim to the left as you just approach farm curve to get a good entry as you head towards village. First gear again as you enter that corner, and as soon as you enter Aintree, put it back up into second as he is going to be demonstrating here. Wellington Straight coming up now. Easy overtaking spot in the race. I think we're going to see a lot of risk being put at here as well. People will mainly try and go for moves up the inside around it. You'll be arriving into Brooklands, heading into second gear, and coming up to the hairpin of Luffield in first gear. Some more brave moves will be attempted there as well. Heading towards the final corner of Woodcote, and that was a lap around the Silverstone circuit on ACC. And we'll see more laps around here in qualifying. So there we go. This is an example of what the drivers could be facing here tonight.
That was absolutely spot on, Jess. That was a definitive guide there of how to get a GT3 car. And as you say, Jess, we will shortly be seeing our drivers put their best hot lapping boots on in an attempt to get themselves up to the front of the grid and bag the accolade, of the first ACC podium here with OneHub. So, Jess, how about you give us some info about OneHub and their sponsors?
Well, as some of you may know, most of you may know because you watch OneHub on a regular basis, we are an F1 league, which has been around for a very long time, since F1 2012, and this is our first AC event, as you can see. And we've got a variety of different sponsors. We've got 3 sponsors and 2 partners that are sponsoring today's event. So first of all, our main sponsor that's been sponsoring us for quite a long time now, Next Level Racing. They've been sponsoring the league. They've been giving away Next Level Racing stands for a few seasons, a few times for the champions, and a few times for the Going Gets Tough Award winner. But this time, anyone could win a Next Level Racing stand from them, but they're going to be winning a GT Light cockpit stand as a prize for a giveaway winner. All you got to do is you got to follow us on our social medias. You've got to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Discord, join us on the Discord link, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and obviously follow us on Twitch as well. And I know a lot of you are on Twitch at the moment, so you've already done one step. But if you haven't done already, make sure you follow us on Twitch so you could find out what the latest events are going on at 2. We stream 1 night a week on Twitch, 2 tiers a week as well. So at least every tier will stream at least 3 times on the F1 side, and all of our ACC events when we get to it. Liam RBS, who are sponsoring our trophies this season and every season, you can find him on his Twitch at twitch.tv/LiamRBS. And also our main sponsors, 3M Sim Racing, who are a very good company. They provide some really great gloves, and they're going to be providing those to the driver with the most pole positions in our F1 league and the driver with the most fastest laps. And we have 2 partners, Vespa Team. They are partnering along with Liam RBS, who are supporting our championship prizes, and ERT Elite Racing Team, one of our new partners this season. They're partnering the ERT Going Gets Tough Award for the F1 leagues. And basically, you complete your pre and post race interviews if you're racing with us in this league. And like John has just said, we have quite a lot of ERT drivers in this field tonight, which is great to have a good representation. We've got 2 minutes left to go, and I'm very excited for the session to kick off.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Great rundown again there, Jess. Of course, as you mentioned there, most of your regular viewers will, of course, be used to the F1. So this is going to be a very different experience for them, because as you and I were talking, Jess, we were putting together notes and stuff, doing a bit of research. The variation between F1 cars and the way they take the track here is one thing, but the variation between Formula 1 cars isn't really that massive when you look at the GT3. Let me give you some examples. The car variations are, well, huge. The engine placement, for a start, all Formula 1 engines are in the same place. They use the same aerodynamics package. You've got things like the Porsche, rear-engined, rear-wheel drive. Then you've got my beloved Ferrari 488, of course, middle-engine, rear-wheel drive, so most like a Formula 1 car. Then, of course, you've got the AMG. Expect that in the Bentley to feature heavily tonight. They are front-engine, rear-wheel drive cars. And again, Formula 1 cars all have the same size engine. In these cars, there's a variation, Jess, of 3.5 litres up to sometimes 6.2 litres in the Mercedes. It's safe to say that goes through a fair bit of petrol as it monsters around a track. Of course, the engines, again, they also vary. They're mostly V8s, twin turbo V8s. There are a couple of V10s, and that can give you a horsepower variation, which is quite huge, which is why in GT3 racing, they use a ballast system. They actually add weight to the cars to even them out if one of them's got a bit much horsepower and they feel it's going to run away with it. So that, again, is an interesting thing. The two of the quickest cars at the moment are definitely the AMG and my beloved Ferrari. Not many of them on track tonight. I'm not sure if the drivers missed the memo. But there are Evo cars involved. Since 2018, the teams have been allowed to embrace new rules and bring improvements. A lot of teams jumped on that in the the 18 and 19 season. A lot of the cars, thankfully Ferrari included, waited a bit later. Most cars came out last season, the AMG and the Ferrari this season. And another slight variation as well, Jess, something that the Formula One guys would be, really? There's only 2 cars that use a front splitter on it, and both of them are Mercedes. So on your Formula One, the front of your car, you've got much more control of your aerodynamics package just purely because of that front splitter, but because of the size of the front bonnet and the front mounted engine, it is a monster in the Mercedes 6.2 litres. They did not mess about when they were designing that thing. They have a front adjustable splitter on the front of the car. So if you do see a Mercedes make contact with the back of another car, you can understand that that car will suffer hugely, much like a Formula One car will have to. And the tyres as well, again, they do suffer, Jess, in the same way that your Formula One brethren do as well. Too much time in the slipstream, you'll see your tyres wear off. These guys do have a mandatory pit stop tonight. We expect to see that someplace around halfway, unless there are some Turn 1 incidents at Silverstone. Unfortunately, with the nature of the rolling start here, as Jess mentioned, it is a different start-finish straight to the Formula One track. So yeah, expect it to be nice, tight and clean, and we will be here, Jess, to see all the action very, very shortly, as qualifying is just about to kick off in about 30 seconds time.
Yeah, we're seeing some lap times come through because we were watching practice both this morning and a bit before the qualifying starts as well. And a few drivers, I think, to keep an eye on in today's session. Definitely Ben Gallagher. For those of you that don't know, John does commentate for SOP Motorsports, and he's one of the drivers that race there, and he's a very quick driver, and he set times back in the 1:59.7s. There was also quite a few drivers that did it in the practice just now. The likes of Connor Schnitzel were looking very quick as well. And obviously Gazzaman, we were talking about earlier on, who is starting to get his field into the world of ACC. He's doing quite well, actually, in practice. And don't forget also, there's people that have not touched ACC at all. This will be their first event. They've been spending the last few days practicing. A few of the guys, they raced in the Formula One leagues just last night around Canada. So they took a very long trip back into the world of ACC, of course. But for me, actually, it does take a while to get used to a different spec of cars, because F1 is a different beast compared to ACC. But from some of the drivers I've been speaking to, going from ACC to F1 is probably more of a challenge than the other way around. But once you're used to ACC, it's really nice to drive. A very good simulator as well. And don't forget, the ACC game is on sale at the moment. So if you like the action that we are about to present to you on the track today, and you want to find out and want to maybe get involved in the next one, make sure you go and get ACC, which is, I think, 20-30% off, I think, until the end of April, and you can get involved in the next event. That's how I got my ACC copy on the PlayStation. I'm used to ACC on the PC. This is actually my first proper time commentating on the PlayStation around ACC, so different kettle of fish, I have to say, but still going to be all exciting indeed, as all the drivers are about to start their laps around Silverstone, as I'm just about to hop into the session, and dry quali and dry race as well. A nice sunny day in real life, and also a nice sunny day in Silverstone too, and I'm really, really excited. And all 19 drivers are on the track at the moment, and let's get started with the qualifying session. And I may as well change scenes so you can see all the action unfold.
Perfect. I myself, I'm just jumping back in. Of course, there's quite a few people in the chat. Let me just, as the qualifying get warmed up, Jess, let me just say Ben Gallagher He seems very happy that I'm the man commentating here today. So yeah, great to see Ben giving the commentators as much support as the commentators do for the drivers. So thank you, Ben. Have a good race, mate. I'm sure you will. Dr. Nailbender, good afternoon, my good friend. I will see you, no doubt, for some ACC or Euro Truck or some other madness later on, my friend. Good to see you here. Thank you for getting up. I know it's early in America, so thank you for joining in. Payne's Dead, good afternoon. Carmentalist, we did have a couple of last-minute driver changes, Ben. We're not guys yet, dropped in and out. We've got some changes, not 100% sure.
Hope he's in. Okay, he's in. He's in.
Oh, he has joined. Wow. Right, well, before I say hi to the chat, he's my one to watch. I've just stolen him. He's my one to watch. So let me just, before I finish, so just before we do wants to watch, he's mine. So good afternoon. James Lee, how are you? 15 years old, very, very quick. Good to see you in the chat this afternoon. Dr. Nailbender says he's looking forward to the race. You should be, my friend. Look at the names we have on display for you. Kieran Clifford, I recognise that name. How are we doing, handsome? Good to see you here again. Dr. Nailbender, hey, you big red dog. Love it. Good to see you guys coming and tuning in. Some Saturday afternoon console racing. It's what you've all been screaming for, and now you get to sit down and watch us give you some of the finest console racing. Of course, it is at Silverstone. We have a full grid and we have a fabulous mix of cars as well. I just went over, Jess, the variations. There is quite a few and a lot to keep up with. If anyone, there's Kieran saying hi again in the chat. If anyone does have any more questions, I know a lot of you are F1 faithfuls. If you've got any questions at all about the cars, the variations, the differences, please feel free to jump in the chat and ask. Who is your one to watch before Jess and I get to that? Let's give you guys in the chat a chance. I know you guys will recognise names. There's a lot of ERT members there. They race with SOP and stuff as well, as Jess mentioned. Carmentalist definitely does. He's second in the Pro Leagues at the minute. Ben Gallagher, he races there as well. Do you recognise any of these names? Kyle's new to me. Dexter's not new to me, but Kyle is. Is Kyle very quick? Is Nick Race Egan going to surprise everyone? Jump in the chat and let us know. You guys will have more idea of the drivers. I've got more of an idea of the car, and we shall meet harmoniously in the middle and bring you 45 minutes of fabulous racing here at Silverstone. Of course, Jess talked you through fabulously the lap the guys have ahead of him, and he's totally ruined that, Jess. I was just about to say, Jess and I were speculating, will we see a 1 minute 58 in qualifying? Ben Gallagher not wasting any time at all, Jess. 1 minute 58.5. That is a quick time, to say the least.
I'm not surprised from Ben Gallagher. Like I said, he was the one to watch. He's been practicing. He's putting on all the good graft, because even though it's a mixability grid here tonight, well, this afternoon, he definitely wants to put on a good show as well. And I think with the battle with Schnitzel, it's definitely going to be one to watch. Samba as well in P2, 8/10 per second as well. I thought someone would go into the 158 a little bit later into the qualifying sessions. I'm really glad that Ben Gallagher's done it nice and early as well. Still watching out for Schnitzel in third place, who hasn't got into the 158 yet, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. But a quick point out to mention as well, Carl, who's recently been signed to the ERT team only yesterday as well. So this is his first, well, not his first race with them, but is because he raced in OneHub last night. He actually had a really good result. Came from near the back of the grid to finish in roughly about P9, and he got, I think, one of the nominations for Driver of the Day, which you can vote, by the way, on Twitter, twitter.com/OneHubRacing. The polls are up there online if you want to vote for your favourite drivers from all the 5 tiers yesterday. So the team owners obviously saw Carl as a very good talent. I've seen him as a good talent in Formula 1, so I hope he's going to have a very good talent in ACC. I've seen him practice in ACC before, obviously, when I've looked at who's been doing what game. I've seen Carl on ACC quite a bit as well, and he's been looking forward to this as well. He comes across the line now to start his next lap. He hasn't improved on his lap just yet, but I'm sure he can go even quicker as well with 8 minutes left to go on the tank. And they've got to remember, though, that they changed their fuel tanks going into the race, because if they put their quali fuel tanks in the race, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble, I have to say. And quite a few people in the chat saying the McLarens are quite strong in the session. Ben Gallagher does look like there as well. McLaren, you said the Ferrari's your favourite. The McLaren is one of my favourites, because mainly due to the fact it's a nice looking car, but also due to the fact Jenson Button races in that car as well. It's not. The livery's not on this game. It's on the PC game. I've driven it a few times around Donington a few days ago. Absolutely love it. Such a beast of a car. Anyway, I'm not going to shed too much bias in this broadcast. We still got some action to get across. So here comes Battle Angel then, as I need to get the track map up, because the track map is so much different. Well, it's not much difference, but the turn numbers are a lot different compared to the normal Formula 1 race as he heads towards the Stowe corner. Gets a very good line there as he heads towards Vale corner there. And the drivers have got to be wary. The track limits are different compared to Formula 1. You've got to keep it within the white lines in Formula 1, but in Assetto Corsa, it's more about the curves that they need to keep an eye on, I think, here today. If they hit a few wheels on the curb, even 4 wheels on the curb, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Hopefully no penalties here today. Now heading towards the start of Abbey then. He's eating it quite nicely at the moment in 16th at this stage. Not everyone has set a lap yet. They're taking a few a few times for the drivers to be, I think, a little bit comfortable with the car as well. And I think a few people in the chat are interested to see how the F1 guys would get on with this setup, with this new ounce of GT3 as well. But, you know, you all have to start somewhere in GT3 racing. I've first commentated on GT3s, I think it was back in June 2018, and definitely it's a lot of fun. So here comes Battle Angel then, heading just past Brooklands, heading into the hairpin of Luffield and heading towards the final corner. Is he going to set a lap time? I think it may be, roughly towards the top 10 mark, or is it not going to be a lapping? We'll have to wait and see. Heading towards the final corner, what is it going to be for him? Nope, I think he invalidated there.
That's Kyle. I think you're on board with Kyle.
Oh, it wasn't Battle Angel's car.
Battle Angel's in a Porsche. Sorry, I just realised Battle Angel's in a Porsche. We were watching Kyle because we were talking about the ERT. He just signed, yes.
Or was it Samba? It was Samba, actually. He was 6/10 quicker. Oh, sorry about that.
Samba. Oh, 40.
It is hard. This is
so
my
it was
first,
the right team.
Yeah, this is my first time commentating on PlayStation. I'm still getting used to the controls. So.
Yeah, you're doing an absolutely slick job, I'll tell you. Absolutely slick job. And then talking about a slick job, you did mention the F1. Let's not gloss over the fact, Jess, own personal achievement, little pat on the back for my co-commentator today. Last night, I believe you did keep your streak alive of scoring points in the opening race of your F1 seasons, I believe.
Yeah, at OneHubRacing.
Yes.
In season 15, I managed to score a point. Fastest lap though, not on track. I got the fastest lap outside the top 10. I didn't race in season 16. I took a season off. Season 17, I did finish P13 on track, but due to post-race penalties, I got promoted up to P12. Got a point. So both of those weren't on track. It was the first time, the first point of the season where I actually got it on track, which was a good achievement. It could have been 11th. Nice. It could have been 11th, but yeah, massive shout. I think there's quite a lot of drivers that did race last night as well. Massive well done, Khalifa. We were riding on board with. He actually started near the back of the grid as well. He nailed the strategy. He decided to stay on the slick tyres, I think, when it got to intermediate condition, and suddenly went on dry again. He finished 4th last night. Could have got 3rd if he was lucky enough, but 4th was still good enough for him as well. So well done to him as well. JM69 could have got a win last night in the podium tip, but he got a penalty on the final corner in Canada. That is annoying, but he still got 2nd in his first race at OneHub, so massive well done to him as well. Dex had a good result as well. Storm got unlucky with his disconnections as well. Cam was quite unlucky. Alex's controller unfortunately disconnected last night, so he unfortunately had to end up retiring. Janel, a multiple OneHubRacing champion. I mean, you know, he's not racing at OneHub anymore, but he's won multiple championships with us in F1. Could he get a win in today? 11th right now, but I wonder if he can climb up the order. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Connor obviously has not raced at OneHub before. Neither has, I'm just trying to see who's not raced, Carmentalist as well. Aiden
I was just about to say jump on board with Carmentalist. He's about to set a lap.
Yep, I'm on board with him right now.
Yeah, he's just about to come across the line, and he has looked very, very, very quick. That Mercedes is not a car to be messed with on any track. It is an absolute curb munching monster. I am known for calling the car. Ah, was that still his outlap? Okay,
The
so
thing
that
is,
was
we
his
can't
outlap.
tell.
Wow.
We can't
Wow,
tell.
that was him warming his tyres. Oh my goodness me, Jess. The speed I just watched him do that lap, I can't lap that quickly, and that was him warming up his tyres on his outlap. Yeah, expect him to go well. Someone that you and I both knew would do well here. He's just gone a 10th quicker, I believe.
Wow.
58.4. Bengal car, so he's taking a lot of time. He knows that he has a very, very quick man indeed. He's got a 6/10 gap at the moment to the lead ERT protagonist at the moment. Still 2.5 minutes to go around Silverstone, so the guys have still theoretically could get another 2 lap time set. Art Connor's 9/10 back, so there is a bit of a stretch there to Ben. I'm sure Car Mentalist will look to put that right sooner rather than later, sporting his Indigo Lime Racing colours.
I love it.
Of course, we'll see the team colours here. It's going to be fun watching 2 teammates of the same, in exactly the same livery in the same car, with some of the ERT boys going side by side. That should be fun, trying to keep track of who's who. Car Mentalist then looking very quick and clean, very close to the curb there, coming in and out of the village complex, coming now along that backside. That kink there is so deceptively difficult in a GT3 car, Jess. I'm not sure what it's like. To be honest, I haven't driven a Formula 1 in quite some time, so I'm a bit out of date as to how they handle. But I can tell you, coming out of village, that little aim 3 kink, that really is something to be feared in these GT3 cars. You definitely don't want to step out of line there. You will either lose all the time that you've gained, or you will find yourself off into the shadow realm with dustier tyres than an 18th century cowboy's horse. And Car Mentalist, bang, up to 5th position. So that is a nice sighter lap for him. So there we go. I did expect, not going to lie, did expect him to be a little bit quicker. I thought he'd be well within a second at least of Ben, but finds himself down in 5th, Jess. So my one to watch looks like he's still out on a lap at the moment, still 50 seconds of the official qualifying still to go, and we still have 18 drivers on track. And as I said, with car variation and driver variation, we could expect to see some big jumps up the field. I'm thinking, Jess, some of the, as you know, a lot of the OneHub drivers in the Formula 1, obviously their Formula 1 may not translate to GT3 cars. As you're saying, it's easier to go from one way to the other, and certainly from Formula 1 to GT3 is a bigger culture shock than vice versa. Based on, if we forget about, say, Ben Gallagher, Car Mentalist, who are fairly new here, who would you say would be the top 3 perhaps to watch for from the Formula 1 results that you've seen here at OneHub?
Oh, very, very tough. I've got to say, obviously I've got to say Dexter, who has done ACC quite a lot. He had a good result in the SOP last week, I believe. I would say Sambo as well in P2. He's currently in the pits at the moment. Schnitzel, who used to race at OneHub, he's taken a season off today for season 18, but he's racing at the ACC leagues. One of the other drivers who's also organised at these events as well, and he has done quite well in practice as well. He's been looking quite fancy. Comes across the line in P2. The checker flag has dropped. The ones who started their laps are allowed to complete their laps as well. I think the 31 car has finished his lap. I believe that's Gaza up in front. A few people have stopped. I'm just trying to see who is on.
Mentalist is about to set an absolute scorcher.
It is 4th place.
Oh, 4th. So he did get within the second. He did get within the second as I thought, but yeah. 7/10, I tell you, he was absolutely piling the foot on the accelerator coming through Luffield there, getting a grip of that. The way he held on to that, got around the last corner. 7/10, the gap up to the top, Jess. I'll tell you what, yeah, so that's 9/10 between the top 5, and they've got a 5/10 gap to Dexter, Kyle and Casper, but they are right on top of one another, as is GM69 in 9th. He's on the 5th row, they're good with Khalifa. And just behind them on row number 6, it's Gazaman side by side with Okeke 21. Then it's Janul in 13th. Nick Race Egan, the boss man, he is in 14th. Come on, Nick Race, get the
come on, Nick.
Fleiss, he is in 15th with Alex Lilliard in 16th position. Lord Ash Wilson in his lordly Bentley is in 17th. Cam Kayamon, No, I'm going to get that wrong all day. He's in
just
an
say Cam.
18th.
Just say Cam.
Just say Cam. Yeah, we're going to go with Cam. We're going to save my blushes and go with Cam. Then we've got Battle Angel in 19th, and in 20th we've got CES Storm. 2 minutes until the guys start rolling. So let me jump back into the chat and get into some questions. Dr. Nailbender saying my favourite Kieran is the McLaren. It's no surprise to hear the Ferrari called out. Dr. Nailbender, you've tuned into a Raven broadcast. If you don't hear me say Spa in the Ferrari 488, then something is definitely wrong. Rimp Nation, how do the rules differ from F1? I have no idea. So the only rules that really differ are to do with the track limits. The guys in the GT3 cars are allowed to use a lot more of the curbs, a lot more of the curbs on certain corners. That's why the sausage curbs are so pronounced. Some cars, the Mercedes, I call it a cheat car, that can definitely ride those curbs. Things like the McLaren, you definitely want to avoid that, but very quick in the straight line. And yes, there is a mandatory pit stop. When we rejoin the race, you will see a list of competitors, and they will have a little orange bar next to their driver car number. That will have a 1 inside it. Once they come into the pit and fulfill the mandatory requirements of that pit stop, that will turn green, indicating they've taken their pit. Should a driver speed in the pit lane, they will receive a drive-through penalty. Track limits, if you abuse the track limits, you can receive anything from a 30 to a 60-second stop-go penalty. And if you don't take your mandatory pit stop, I believe the punishment at Silverstone because the mandatory requirements are for a tyre change. So if you don't take the mandatory requirements, it's something like 180 seconds will be added to your time. So 3 minutes. So there is a rough indication of the rules. During the pit stop, the tyre change will take 30 seconds. The guys can put fuel in if they want, because you can put in, for 45 minutes, they can run it on 1 tank of fuel, no problem at all, but they might want to be as light as possible for the whole race to maximise the car's aero potential. Which would mean they can get themselves some fuel snuck in there during the tyre change and not lose any extra time taking on board fuel, time that they might potentially gain being that little bit lighter and having an average race weight over the 45 minutes. That is the guys now off and rolling on their rolling start. All 20 cars successfully on their way. Ben Gallagher leads the way. Schnitzel is in second. Samba's in third. Carmentalist is in fourth position. Connor in fifth. Dexter, he's side by side with a teammate in sixth. That teammate is Kyle, first repping for the ERT team, and he's doing not too bad at all. Casper in eighth with GM69 in ninth. Khalifa is in 10th. Okeke is in 11th. And Gaza is in 12th. And we will leave that there so I can quickly jump back out and jump back in and bring you the start of the race. I'm sure Jess, there we go. Look at that. Smooth as butter, Jess. Who have we got running from 12th down to 20th, Jess?
Okay, so after Gaz, we've got Gaza in 12th position. We've got another one of the ERT boys, Janel in 13th. Obviously, Nick in 14th. Falaise in 15th position. Alex Lilliar in 16th. Lord Ash Wilson, oh no, he missed the start. He didn't get ready in time, so he's starting from the pit lane. And we got Cam in 17th. Battle Angel 18th and Storm in 19th. You do not want to start in the pit lane here, but some people are new to ACC. They've been told to make sure that they ready up in time, because otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So anyway, we're about to get started with the action here at Silverstone. Our first ACC event at OneHubRacing is about to get underway. Everybody is warming up their tyres as much as they possibly can. And we got Ben Gallagher as well, really starting to warm up the tyres as they possibly can as well. And I have to say, I wonder when they're actually going to start doing their pit stop.
So the pit stop. I was going to say as well, Jess, what you'll see the guys actually doing here with these cars, it's not so much the tyres they'll be warming, it's their brakes. The heat generated from the brakes will generate outwards and heat their tyres. Heating your tyres with these cars is very, very difficult on a lap like this because of the Wellington Straight. That is the problem they've got. You can't. It's very difficult to maintain tyre temperature. So what you'll see the guys doing, they are doing a lot of weaving, but you will see their brakes. Look how Ben's brakes are absolutely glowing. And that's because he has his foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. Trying not to trigger his APS, trying not to get any flat spots on his tyres in preparation. But yeah, it is the brakes that these guys will absolutely be warming up. And again, that's one of the differences I should have pointed out. Formula One certainly do go for tyre management, but with these guys, it's all about the brakes.
Yes, definitely. I think if you don't warm up your brakes in the GT3s, then really you're going to probably end up spinning in turn one. I have experienced that in Donington. I was coming out of the pits and I was like, oh, I may as well push on my outlap. No, you definitely got to warm your brakes, definitely. So, yeah, that's something I'm going to learn from this race today, definitely, is how they manage their start, because it's not like the standing starts you get in Formula One, of course, where you actually go wait for a little bit until all the cars go on the grid. They'll be getting started straight away. It's kind of like a safety car restart in Formula One, if you think about it, as well, as everyone is just eager to get going here as well. Ben Gallagher is going to be the one controlling the start. As soon as he's ready to go, when he's crosses the start-finish line, which will be very soon, that's when the race will be underway and 45 minutes worth of action will commence. Once everybody gets past the pit lane, Ash Wilson will be joining the back of the field, and we're going green here in Silverstone. A good start from Ben Gallagher as they make their way towards turn one, heading towards Kopp's corner. Schnitzel going side offside already. He wants to get going quickly as well. Carl Mentis has already had a good start up into fourth place already. Let's see if they make it clean, heading towards the Maggots and Beckett's complex. All looking decent so far. A few people trying to stay out of trouble at this moment in time, but look at this, still going side by side, heading towards the chapel section. They come, then we're going to see the straight line speed really coming to fruition here at this stage. We're already having a few people having trouble with the track limits already around this track, and unfortunately we do have things we gather. I thought we were going to get rid of the timing glitch in Formula One.
No, the timing board does disappear and go a
just
bit
like
crazy,
Formula
crazy.
One.
Yeah, exactly. So it does take a few seconds to catch back up again, which can be very, very confusing. That was, tell you what, Carmentalist, he's up to fourth. So he has made moves in the background, yes. He's got himself to fourth. Art Connor and Dexter are tucked in behind it. Kyle still hanging on to the back of his teammate. We've got a very, very close battle between Fleiss, JM and Okalele in 12th, 13th and 14th. Just coming into the background there of the Hamilton Straight, of course, famously named for the man that's won quite a few Grand Prix. And we see them battling away there side by side, popping along into the straight. So yeah, very, very quick, very clean start. Whereas Carmentalist, who's moved up a place, yes, he's in fourth at the moment. He's got Art Connor all over the back of him, and he has Dexter and Art Kyle definitely within slipstream range. And I tell you what, Khalifa as well, he looks like he's gone side by side. We'll just catch that in the background there. There we go, side by side, coming along this back straight, the Wellington Straight, and they've got a Mercedes as well tucked right in there behind them. We did think the Mercedes were going to be quite strong around here. There's certainly enough of them on track. Khalifa then, he's abusing those track limits. The Lexus, he is going to go round the outside at Luffield then. Or is he going to try? Doesn't quite get it done. So he falls back into place, but look how close he is. So he is definitely going to have himself some woodcut slipstream as they come along the Cops. Pops out with the slipstream early then, decides to make a move, decides to fall back into place then. So he's going to carry that through Cops. Tell you, it's a brave man that doesn't try and get the move done before Maggots and Beckett's. He's going to find himself in all kinds of slipstream difficulties there as he tries to sequentially get himself down fifth gear, fourth gear, down through to third, then into down to third, potentially into second in these cars, then very quickly back up to third and fourth again to come along the straight into, of course, Stowe and round into Vale. Someplace, Jess, you and I were talking about, the drivers are really going to have to watch their track limits because of the differences between these cars and the Formula One cars that they might be used to.
Yeah, Stowe in particular is where I've seen, like that.
Jump on board, third place.
Third place. Here we go. We got a huge battle for third place as well.
Yeah, on you go.
Sandberg, Carmentalist and Connor as well, all in the back of this too. We got Schnitzel as well, just having a loving life in second place. We got Ben Gallagher as well, who is leading the way as well. This is quite good for the battle for the podium spots as well. Carmentalist is looking like to see if he can get fourth third place from Samba. Don't forget the top 3 will be having podium interviews at the end of this race.
Samba's in
I'm
second.
sure.
Samba's in second. The timing board hasn't updated yet. ERT Samba is in second place. He's overtaken Schnitzel. Schnitzel is now defending heavily from car mentalist. Is ERT Samba, the timing board. There we go. It is finally caught up. There we go. That does take a while to catch up. That's another nightmare with console streaming, as my regular viewers will absolutely know. So Ben Gallagher is indeed off into the lead. Samba has taken second place. Schnitzel is in third, but he has himself a rear view mirror full of Indigo Limes Racing car mentalist. He was now wanting to watch. He qualified in fifth, now finds himself in fourth, and he will look to get the move done sooner rather than later, because he will be very, very wary of the Lexus and the Bentley that are behind him. That's Art Connor and Dexter taking up fifth and sixth at the moment. But as we can see, car mentalist is very close to time. But Schnitzel has got a great run coming along the first corner into the Magnussen Beckett's complex here. Look how much better on the brakes that Mercedes is. Gets so close to that Lexus, and you've got to think this could well be job done, as we see Mercedes, Lexus, Mercedes come through there. Under the bridge they go in that order. Will they exit the Stonevale complex in that order? I tell you what.
Oh, contact!
Oh, Samba's lost it. Samba's lost it, Jess. What happened there?
I really don't know. I think he was trying to defend from Schnitzel, but couldn't quite make it work.
Carmentalist up the inside. Carmentalist has just gone up the inside and pulled an absolute worldy overtake into Club, Jess. He's just gone inside, up the inside, round the outside, through the chicane, into Club. He is now the man on the podium position, going along the Hamilton Straight, coming into Abbey. There's just too much action going on at the minute, Jess. I might need to lie down soon. Samba was in second place, has gone off. Car mentalist has said thank you very much. He has taken full advantage, and sorry, he's now in second, Jess. Yeah, I know the timing board, but car mentalist is now the man in second place, finding himself defending from Schnitzel as Samba is rejoining the track. He is going to be lucky to be inside the top 10, I think, here, Jess. He is tumbling down the order, 10th. So he has tumbled down to 10th. So Mercedes out, Mercedes in. There was a Mercedes in second place, and there still is a Mercedes in second place. But it's no longer an ERT, it's an ILR driver that finds himself there. And yeah, talking about jinxing the commentator, I'm not sure that's worked out well there. It's worked out well for car mentalist. Might want to watch, and he finds himself in second place at the moment, Jess. Only 3 laps into this, Jess. We've still got mandatory pit stops to come, and there's still battles all through the field. This is an absolute cracking opener for the OneHubRacing team.
I have to say, I'm really enjoying this so far. They're definitely putting on a show, I have to say. And I think if you want to keep an eye on the timings, 15 places hang a battle as well. If you want to keep an eye on the timings as well, on where they are relative on the track, check the track map on the right-hand side, because that's always accurate as well. So if you're not sure if they may get the move done, check the track map as well. And the guy that is in red, that is the guy that I am following as well. We've got JM69 is chasing down the big boss man of Nick, closing in on the gearbox there of the Lexus of Nick Race Egan as well. We got Cam as well that could have a little bit of a sniff for Gazzaman very, very soon too. Now heading towards the hangers straight then. Is Johannes going to get the move that he's looking for? Heading towards Stowe Corner. Nope. I think in these cars, you're not going to get in the movement to Stowe. Maybe the movement to Club will be the best option for JM69, of course. Got a podium last night in the F1. Doesn't look like he's going to get one today, but I was speaking to him earlier on, and he was just there for the experience as well. And as you can tell already, OKK's little bar is green because he's already served his mandatory stop. He either wanted to get out of the way or he got damaged. So at least he's out of the way. He doesn't need to pit again if he doesn't want to. He's got out of the way, and he could serve his tank of fuel until the end of the race if he wants to. So that's all done for him as well. Everyone else has got a yellow one next to their name. That means they still need to serve their mandatory stop. As look at this, we've got Johannes and Nick still going for it at this moment in time. Wait, where did Johannes go? Where did JM go?
He's just been disconnected. He's just been disconnected as I was watching them. That was an absolutely cracking battle between him and Nick there. I was absolutely sucked in watching those two drivers attack and defend one another. And the curse of the ACC console server has kicked in, I'm afraid, and he has been disconnected from the race. He will be able to rejoin, I think, but he will ironically have to serve a 2-minute penalty in the pits for rejoining the race. Unfortunately, one of the downfalls of the console ACC server, but I'm sure he'll jump back in. We do, though, have Jess, still have 19 drivers still on the track. 3 of them have taken their pits less than 9 minutes in the race. It's a bold strategy, Con. Let's see how it plays out for them. It's OKK in 19th, with Fleiss currently running in 18th position. We've got Battle Angel in 17th, with Storm in 16th. Lord Dash Wilson started in the pits. He's got himself back up to 15th. Still does have to take his pits.
Casper had a bit of a love tap there, and that ended in disaster there, heading towards Stowe. He went for the risk there, and that just did not work out, as we've got unfortunate trips in the gravel there for, I didn't see who that was, but that was definitely really, really bad there. But Casper's still in 11th now, but that's definitely not going to boost his confidence, I have to say. And I think the gaps have started to settle a little bit between the top 3. So let's focus on the midfield, and Khalifa could be on course to be catching the likes of Kyle and Dexter very, very soon. Kyle, the number 24 car, Khalifa, the number 34 car too. And maybe Sama could be back into this as well as they head towards the Wellington Straight. So it looks like Khalifa's definitely improving on the straight line speed. The Merc's known for it around this track. So let's just see how far he gains at this moment. KK actually pits again. So I wonder if he's picked up more damage. So you only have to stop once, so it must be damage, or almost certain. So he's been very, very unlucky there. But at least he's not giving up, of course. He's still going. So let's hope he has a better end to this race. 34 minutes left to go on track. 31 degrees, track temperature of 23 degrees. On air temperatures you can see at the top of your screen on the right hand side. And the wind, luckily, on this server, no wind the drivers are facing today. The wind is definitely hard when I race on ACC, so thank goodness the drivers don't have to experience that much wind speed in this opening event, of course. And so fortunate to make the move there. B stayed up into 3rd place. It's just the gaps changing a little bit there. But yeah, lots of game-changing moves at the moment. Connor's dropped down to 11th, which is a bit of a shame there. But oh, did he go in the gravel there for a little bit? I'm not entirely sure, but the servers are starting to have a bit of an issue, but it doesn't matter. Gazza goes into the pits. He also served his mandatory stop right here and right now.
Yes, he is. So that will be 4 drivers then who have taken their mandatory pit stop at the moment. So that is certainly going to make the closing stages of the race very interesting. Does guarantee them almost, because of the length of the track, they're going to be lapping around about the 2 minutes. It does pretty much guarantee our drivers a bit of clean air when they come out, but there is a big trade-off. The tyres, the later you pit, the fresher your tyres are going to be, and it is a mandatory tyre change, so everyone will be changing onto a fresh set of rubber. So for every lap that these guys pit ahead of their field, yeah, they're going to get some clean track and try and put some clean laps in, but come the end of the race, their lap times are going to suffer by anything up to about 8 to 9 tenths, because their tyres are going to be a bit more worn than their competitors that are still out on track. I've been keeping an eye, Jess, on the gap up at the top, and Carmentalist is hovering ever so close. Ben Gallagher is pretty much on 0 camera time since he went off and running into the distance, but Ben did say hi in the chat, so he knows fine well. We always watch the cars that are closest in battling, and there's certainly been no battles for the man in the McLaren. He has that thing absolutely planted, and that is definitely bringing a smile to one of the commentators watching today, who has admitted this is absolutely one of our favourite cars, and Ben doing it absolute justice here, the McLaren at Silverstone. Look how much he can take that curve there, just flying that car in. 4.4 seconds now, so 3 tenths. So Ben is fighting back. Now he's extended that gap actually. I expected that to be under 4 seconds here, but Carmentalist still running in second. Schnitzel is the other man on the podium at the moment. Jess did mention him before the stream, and it's certainly playing out that he is very quick indeed. was ERT Samba then, Jess. He was the man. He is closing in on Khalifa and his teammate ERT Kyle, but Samba, not entirely sure what happened to him, but coming into Stowe, the weight transfer of the car perhaps caught him out big time. He finds himself back down in 5th, but as I say, he is mounting a charge towards Kyle, who has his hands full defending against Khalifa. Oh, and I tell you what, he's made a mistake. Khalifa's got past him. So Khalifa there, big mistake by Kyle, makes a mistake on the exit of the village complex, Jess, and coming along the Wellington straight. I didn't expect it to be close there, but Khalifa has got the job done. So it's now going to be Kyle facing his teammate Samba for 6th position, as Khalifa will find himself off and running. Art Connor as well, to jump on board with there, sorry. Jess, keeping you busy today. Art Connor, the driver, said, oh, I tell you what, he had a big look there. Big look. Connor has got the move done on the Porsche. The timing boards haven't updated, but Lillier is behind him. Lillier did look to try and make a move back there, coming along the Wellington straight, and yep, see, he compromised himself going into Luffield, so he's not going to get close enough to take advantage of the slipstream. So it is Lexus Porsche in the shape of Casper, Connor and Alex Lillier, 9th, 10th and 11th. The Porsche, the only car here that is a rear-engined, rear-wheel drive. So when you light up the back tyres on that thing, Jess, it really is a harum-scarum affair. I think it's safe to say. And it's, yeah, certainly for myself, it's definitely not a car I'm massively keen on trying to drive. It takes a lot of hanging on. We have number 23, Nick Race Egan then. Oh, Nick's had a spin.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
it's the bottle man himself.
Yeah, the boss man. What's going on there, Jess?
I just went on board with him, so that was just past cops as well, and I think it looked like he was doing an F1 style, because in F1, you, like I said in the hot lap, you can go flat out, but in these cars, you really need to go on the brakes for the weight transfer, so I think he's probably forgotten that, and obviously Magnus and Beckett's really easy to lose the car as well, so yeah, he's lost a bit of time there. Still, I believe he's still catching up to the number 32 car in front of him, who is already lapped already, I believe. Yes, he did lap.
Jump on board before, Jump on board before.
That's Dexter. Dexter's on course for a podium. He's been looking, I've been monitoring the gap between Dexter and Schnitzel throughout the whole of this race so far, and Dexter is closing in. Schnitzel has pitted for his stop.
Yes, he has.
Wise decision.
Yes.
I
tell you
that
what,
was so close.
Good. That is going to get good now. Will Dex get the undercut? How is that going to work? Cam is very close to Lord Ash Wilson. Lord Ash Wilson up to 12, still has to take his mandatory pit stop. He's got 3 drivers behind him who have pitted, but remember, he did start. Oh, you don't want to run there, kid. He did start in the pits due to not readying up quite in time, so that's going to cost him. Art Connor then, I was just looking at him, he was absolutely in the back seat of Casper. They have come into the pits simultaneously, Jess, so we're just getting close to the halfway mark, and we're seeing a lot of these guys and gals jumping into the pits to take their mandatory pit stops. 28 minutes left to go. Ben Gallagher is still off and running. The gap is 3.8 seconds then to Carmentless, so he's closed that back down. There is a yellow flag on track.
And number 14.
Number 14, KK. So KK's had himself an issue. He has gone skating off into the dust. Let's hope he's not got much damage and just needs to brush off some dusty tyres. They certainly will be dusty the way he was lighting up there. So Schnitzel comes back out of the pits. And Rimp Nation is pointing in the chat that the F1 timing table seems pretty good compared to this. Any timing table, an abacus would quite frankly be better than this, as we impatiently wait to see where Schnitzel comes back out. Will he resume his battle with Dexter? When is Dexter going to come into the pits? He now has the advantage of Jess. He can look at his tyre wear and think to himself, can I get another couple of decent laps out with these tyres, or can I come in and have that 1 lap extra rubber? Can I wait an extra couple of laps and get that extra couple of laps of rubber at the end? 31 degrees, and the way these guys are pushing it, comes past the pits, and no, so he decides against the pit stop on lap number 9. So yes, so certainly the speed these guys are driving at 31 degrees, they will be going through the tyres at a fairly decent rate of knots. Kyle then, teammate on teammate action.
Kyle's in the pits.
Yes, Kyle's in the pits. He didn't want any of the advancing Samba. So that is Samba ready to strike on Khalifa. Next, of course, Khalifa has been promoted to 4th due to pit stops. It's Dexter that is currently driving. Well, is he in the right position? Is he not? Has his pit strategy given him the jump on Samba? Has Samba called it absolutely spot on and got the job done? The track temperature has been constant. So 0 track variation means 0 variation in your pit strategy if you avoid contact and don't make any mistakes. Not easy to do for 45 minutes in these cars with, tell you what, definitely wouldn't be doing that in a McLaren or a Ferrari, just jumping on board with Dexter. That is, yeah, it's a brave man that mounts those curbs. But Dex does, he'll be push, and you can see Khalifa in the background there, who is closing that gap as well. I'm seeing the background beautifully, highlighting the gap. There's Samba in the background as well. Kyle is coming out the pits. Junior's in the pits, so is Alex, and so is Cam. Sorry, Cam's not in the pits. Lord Ash Wilson is in the pits, and so is Nick Race Egan. So as we're approaching the halfway mark, we are seeing an absolute flood of cars coming in and out, so it's going to be absolute chaos, yes. Keeping up with who's done what, where, when and how. But I'm sure we will have the good graces of the guys at home. Let's see if we can figure out who is coming out where. So Samba then, is he going to... Wait, did Samba not take his pit stop?
Samba has not pitted yet.
So how did he end up back down in 5th? Oh, he made the mistake,
he spun earlier.
Yes,
remember?
Of course, it's Schnitzel. Sorry, I'm getting myself confused. There's been that much action, Jess. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, honestly,
it's been unbelievably amazing.
It's your first ACC event with us. We'll let you off. I've got a few things wrong today, so yeah, it's 1-1 choking.
Thanks very much. I actually just spilled the tea there. That was very good timing. Very good timing.
Yeah, but yeah, speaking of Samba, actually, he's making his stop now. So is Khalifa. So they both pitted at exactly the same time. So they're not going for the undercut strap between those two. That could be an intense battle towards the end there. I have to say, Ash Wilson, considering the fact that he started in the pits, he's doing an alright job up in 14th position. He's making up for lost time. He's taking advantage of other people's mistakes as well. So he could be on for a very good finish today. Only a few drivers yet to do those stops. The top 6 on track yet to make the stop, as well as CES Storm up in 9th place. Someone is in the grass behind him. That is, I think, I'm just trying to see who it was. I think it was a KK again. It was a KK again who had a spin. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it was, because it looked like his car as well. Cam goes into the pits too as well. So where is... Khalifa. Khalifa had a stop-and-go penalty. 30 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Don't forget, you got to keep an eye on the pit lane as soon as you exit it, as well as when you enter as well. It's not like Formula 1 where you can have let the AI take control of it until you exit it. You will have full control every process, which was what I like on this game, to be honest. And that's what's compromised Khalifa there. So you have to serve it at some point, and look at that, he's flashing his lights. He's not impressed with that at all, and he is going to be asked to, well, he has to move out the way of the blue flags of Flace, number 32 car as well. Carmentis in the pits too, doing the undercut.
Place is in the pits.
Undercut on Ben Gallagher then. So
it's going to be a big one if he needs. Oh, and Dex is in the pits as well.
I think he had to respond to he had to respond to P2. I think he had to respond to that, which is, I think, a good move for him. But the question is,
Schnitzel,
yes, who's already pitted. Is Schnitzel going to be ahead of Dexter out when he comes into the pits? We're halfway into the race now. 23 minutes gone. 23 to go, of course. And we got another stop-go penalty. That's for Cam. So 2 stop-go penalties. I thought they would have had it in hand right now, but they were starting to get them all of a sudden. I can understand why Cam
Kyle,
does one.
battle for fifth. Khalifa's actually defended against Kyle, sorry. 6th place Kyle.
Once again.
All over the back of Khalifa, coming along once again, the Wellington State. They're going to come into Luffield. And he's not quite... Oh, I tell you what, where is Khalifa gone? Oh, Khalifa's gone right off track. Khalifa's absolutely missed his braking zone there. Coming into Luffield, so Kyle then's been given a free pass there. Khalifa's going to have 3 laps to come in and take that stop-go penalty, or he will be DQ'd from the race. So will Cam. That's another rule. If you're
another
given
one.
a penalty, you have 3 laps to serve it. Dexter then, he is out the pits, and I tell you what, Schnitzel is in 3rd position. He has come out just ahead of Dexter. He's absolutely got it done by, wow, yeah, come on timing board, please update and let us see how close.
1 second.
1.1 seconds, yes. Talk about cutting it close. What a phenomenal way to use your pit strategy here by Schnitzel, one of your regulars at OneHub.
Yeah, I have to say, Schnitzel and Dexter, I've seen these 2 battle for a very long time. This is going to get very spicy towards the end there. We got a final driver making the pit stop, and that is our race leader. He can pit all he wants. He had such a big gap up front, so he comes in for his final stop, and that means everybody else would have done their mandatory pit stop, so no DQs there and no penalties for the drivers because they all done their stops with tyre wear and all that, so that's good news. So everyone has followed the rules, of course. Just people need to follow the rules for the blue flags, of course, because some people will be lapped, a few people will lapped already because they're quite new to the game, of course. We're halfway in this race. Let's take you through our running order. So Ben is leading with Car Mentalist in 2nd. I wonder if he's going to do the undercut. That's going to be the question. Yeah. Schnitzel in 3rd, Dexter in 4th, Kyle in 5th position. We got a nice battle between Khalifa, Samba and Connor as well. We got a few lapped cars as well. In 8th, Jano in 9th.
Yes, jump on the leader. It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
Undercut.
Car Mentalist has got it really close. I mean, not quite undercut, but I'll tell you what. Oh,
come on, update. Come on.
Yeah,
is he in the lead?
So Ben is still in the lead. No, so Ben's still in the lead.
Oh,
but
yeah,
Car Mentalist is definitely, I think he's closer than 3.8 seconds. He was 3.8 seconds
I would say 2.5. I would say 2.5.
Yeah, I'd say so. They're coming down through. Yeah, they're both.
Come on, update for goodness sake.
Oh, they're absolutely. Tell you what, this is going to be interesting.
It's not updating for me yet.
No, not me.
Oh.
5.7.
Oh, we were both wrong.
Wow. Miles wrong there, so there you go, 2-all. So yeah, Car Mentalist running very quickly there. Ben is going to be on outlap tyres, so this will be the time Car Mentalist is going to look to pounce, but Ben will have fresher tyres for the last 2 laps of the race. So it could be very, very, very interesting stuff. Sorry, Jess, we've got the update there. Please, sorry, I interrupted you there so rudely. Give us a rundown of the rest of the runners and riders now that we're halfway through and everyone has taken their pit stops.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually people made the front runners made their stops this early. I thought they would have done it towards the end there, but let's carry on your order from 10th position. We've got Alex Lear, then Casper, then Ash Wilson, Gazaman, Nick, our boss man, Storm in 15th, doing a great job as well. And we've got Flays in 16th, Cam in 17th, KK in 18th, as Cam, I believe, still has got his stop go, whereas Khalifa has served his and he just came out of the pit lane. So that's his stop out the way. That puts him in 11th at this stage, just behind a lapped car, I believe, or he's being lapped. I'm just trying to see what car it is. I think it's Gazaman. Yeah, but it's Gazaman. So Gazaman is ahead. So the timings will update in a second once it has a moment. Yes, Gaza is now ahead of Khalifa. So that could be a great battle towards the end there as well. As I'm seeing Car Mentalist close up just a little bit. Not quite. And I don't think Dexter's closing up to Schnitzel yet. I think Schnitzel got the benefit of the undercut there, but watch out for Dexter's tyres at the end. Dexter, I think with the fresher tyres, could be on the charge at the end with almost 15 minutes left to go already of this race. And we've had some battles, we've had some drama, but we definitely had some excitement here today so far.
Oh, absolutely. From start to finish, there has
Yellow
been
flag.
non-stop drama. Samba!
Again!
Samba's going on the same corner, Jess. Exactly the same corner. It looks like an identical mistake. He is shadow realmed himself off. Oh no, sorry, that's turn 1.
No, that's not Stowe, my friend.
No, that's right. That's not Stowe. You're right. That's not Stowe. I got myself massively
That was
massively
Cops.
over. That was Cops. So yeah, certainly flying right-handers. Cops and Stowe very similar on their approach and entry, but he has made himself another mistake. And car mentalist.
Car mentalist,
Jess. He's gone. Schnitzel's in third place.
Dexter could get a podium.
Dexter has got a podium.
Yeah, he's overtaken Schnitzel. He's overtaken Schnitzel. You can see it on the track map.
Car mentalist, sorry. So Schnitzel, he has as well. What?
Car mentalist,
Schnitzel's
sorry.
in second. Dex is in third. Car mentalist is down in fourth, so he's made a mistake. Coming along Hamilton Straight, I believe. And yeah, he now finds himself in fourth place. So the man on the charge benefited from other people's mistakes early doors. Has himself a bit of a zinger in the closing stages and finds himself very quickly overtaken by the Lexus of Schnitzel, and in third place now Dexter. So there you go, Jess, that is 3-2 to you. Your one to watch is just overtaken my one to watch, and we have got an absolute cracker of a closing stages here, especially considering the battle that's going on in 10th position right now between Alex and Casper. So right through the field with 15 minutes to go, there is still battle royales to be had here at the OneHub's inaugural ACC outing at Silverstone.
Yeah, exactly. Apologies if we get who's at what position wrong due to the timings, unfortunately. So if we see someone we think is overtaking someone but they're not, just apologies for that one. But yeah, I have to say, Alex Lilliard, he's done a good job in 10th. He's a guy who I know likes to keep it consistent and usually is a clean driver in pretty much all the OneHub races that I've taken part of. I've been lucky to actually share the same racetrack with him every week. So, and I know that he's doesn't go for the move unless he can do it, and he's 1.1 seconds behind Casper. This could be very intriguing indeed. Car mentalist though, he's not giving up, is he? He's still finding some time again to catch up to Dexter, even with that spin. It didn't look like he got damaged, did he? So he's still back in this race and he's still on the podium fight.
Yep, he definitely is. The only thing really that he'll have to worry about is any tyre damage, of course, as even in the Formula 1 cars, these cars are no different. If you spin them, you can very quickly flat spot your tires, and that will massively compromise any number of fixed braking distances, turning ability, acceleration ability. So we'll could potentially have some tyre issues to manage, but he is very, very quick. Of course, qualified in 5th, found himself up in 2nd place early doors in the race. Came out of the pits, he was absolutely flying. Did drop some time to Ben Gallagher, in fact, through the pits. I got myself massively overexcited, thinking it was a lot closer than it was. But Ben in the McLaren, an absolute supreme performance here at Silverstone. Definitely, if there's... yeah, there we go. Car mentalist, that's exactly what I was talking about. If your back tyres are even slightly compromised and with a flat spot, and it's the flat spot that's making contact with the tarmac when your foot makes contact with the floor on the accelerator, that is what will happen. And a rear wiggle in a car the size of a bus is certainly nothing you want to be experiencing in the closing stages of a race when you're battling out for a podium, especially when the car in front of him, ERT Dexter, the ACC community are very quick to call the Bentley the Boatley because it is literally the size of a boat. You could quite potentially live on that thing, no problem at all, if you stuck a hull and a stern on it. And it is very, very, very difficult to get past that car at the best. And on a track like this, where it benefits from being able to unleash that massive V10 monster in line, it is going to be all types of handfuls here for Car Mentalist in the Mercedes. He's going to have to keep those tyres in check. He's going to have to get himself past Dexter. And Jess, I'm sure you'll be very quick to testify. I mean, you said yourself the Dexter-Schnitzel battle could be one to watch. Well, Car Mentalist fancies himself a little pop in that little honourable mention there. But as you've said, Dexter is no slouch, so this one could be an absolute cracker. Britain versus Germany, Mercedes versus Bentley.
And of course, Dexter's from the good old, he's Danish actually, so you know, he's
I meant the car make. I know that. Don't worry. Yep.
So yeah, with the nationality of the drivers as well, it's going to be the Danes of Dexter versus the Brits of Car Mentalist as well. And Schnitzel, I believe he's German as well. I think Schnitzel's German.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm not entirely sure, but I need to get my nationalities right at some point. But yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of rivalries there as well. But we've still got some battles, I think, towards the end of the field as well, near the end. So
Ben, what's going on with Ben?
What's going on with Ben? Ben's lost it.
Ben's lost it. Where is that taking place? Turn 1.
Schnitzel,
one.
I think Schnitzel's right on the back of this, I think. Or is that Nick?
You're absolutely spot on. No, that's Schnitzel. You're absolutely spot on. That is Schnitzel right on the rear spoiler of Ben Gallagher, and we've just dropped another car in the same corner, Casper. So I don't know if someone snuck oil in the track there. No, that's another section. I'm getting massively overexcited here. Ben Gallagher.
Oh my God.
He's dropped it into turn 1. Schnitzel is definitely not 15 seconds. He is half a second off the back of Ben. That is slipstream mode engaged, ladies and gentlemen. Grab onto something tight because this is going to get interesting with 10 minutes to go. Schnitzel is sitting in the back seat of Ben's car, eating himself some popcorn at a drive-through movie. He is so close. And Dexter, I did say it was going to be a big ask for car mentalist to get that Mercedes past the Bentley, but he is saying he is more than up to the challenge as we see them come along the Hamilton straight. They're going to come into Abbey, a very, very high-speed part of the track, and this is one where you need to be really brave coming out here. Some drivers just lift and use as much of that curb as they can. These drivers, no, not applying that just yet. Nice bit of lift, throw it in, hope for the best coming into village. Look how close Car Mentalist is getting there. Absolute supreme control on the brakes. Has a look up the inside. Dex half closes the door. They're going to go side by side. Very clever move by Dex there. It keeps Car Mentalist out of the station. Two of them side by side. Oh, onto the Wellington straight. Absolute beautiful move there by both drivers going side by side. But very clever by Dex. He didn't give away slipstream there. He just put straight horsepower versus horsepower, which means that at this point he's right back in the slipstream to come along through Woodcock back into Cox. This battle is only just beginning, and Ben Gallagher, his rear view mirror says all kinds of Lexus logos at the moment. Schnitzel is breathing down his neck for that first place, and Ben actually looks like he's carrying a bit of damage on the front of his car, but there it is then. Dexter down the fourth. Car Mentalist confirmed back on the podium.
Schnitzel going for the move.
Sorry, on you go, Jess.
Schnitzel going for the move, heading into Maggotts, now heading in towards Beckett's there. Wow, fantastic stuff. The man who we thought that was going to win the race for the entire time has made a mistake, and sometimes mistakes like that cost you in the last 10 minutes. And yes, it looks like from his bodywork that he does have damage, but he's still going to give it a good go to try and get past Schnitzel very soon, heading towards Stowe Corner. But Schnitzel at the moment in the Lexus is your race leader by 2/10 of a second. My oh my, there's blue flags for good measure. That did not help as well. Ben Gallagher siding up for me as well. Car Mentalist is back in his fight for the win as well. He's like the cat with 9 lives, I can tell you that, goes Aiden. He thought he would not be in the fight for the podium. He's in the fight for the win.
Massively wide there.
Ben's gone
massively wide. Wolf, I tell you what, Car Mentalist is absolutely close in there. Ben is definitely suffering from two things here. Slipstream, no front aero. The damage on the front of his car is visible. That means the front of his car is damaged, and that is very close on the brakes indeed there. Sorry, that is a whole lot of carbon fibre and aerodynamic loss that he's got. So he is absolutely fighting every single corner there, and Car Mentalist is acutely aware of that, in the Bentley as well. So we see Ben popping out just to get out of the slipstream. Is he going to go for a move up the inside into Luffield? Surely not. No, he thinks better of it. Car Mentalist is getting very, very, very close now indeed. Dexter, well, with 8 minutes to go, you've got to think he's the man in prime position. He just needs to sit back on the back of these guys. He's got the pace to do that. And can he get himself? I don't know why the blue flags are waving, referee. Get that put away. This is one of the greatest console battles you will ever see. Here we go, the guys on PS4. Oh, I tell you what, Car Mentalist has a look up the inside the Ben. Does Ben defend? Nope, he doesn't. He holds his line. All 4 drivers. Oh, I was just about to say that all make it through nice and clean. Ben runs a little bit wide, gets a bit too much curb. He's unsettled the car. That is going to give Car Mentalist all kinds of decisions here to make. And there we go, Dexter. I said he's lurking in the background. He's my one to watch for a podium now with 7 minutes to go. He is primally placed. Ben is the one that looks like he may be the lamb to the slaughter here with that damage. These all 4 guys here have shown supreme pace around here, stretched off into the lead. And these little mistakes have brought this battle right back together, Jess. 7 minutes to go. Nose to bumper. The top 4 who's going to be on the podium? It could be any one of four here.
I literally don't know. If you're watching the Canadian Grand Prix races last night, there were some very close finishes in all the tiers. You know what? We're going to get exactly the same thing here. Our very first ACC event at OneHubRacing in Silverstone, with Schnitzel, your race leader, by 0.6 of a second. Looks like he's going to hold on. I think our Mentalist could be held up by Ben Gallagher's damage at this stage, but never say never for car Mentalist, of course. Any one of those four could get the podium. A four-way fight for the race win as there's contact with Schnitzel and Ben Gallagher. Car Mentalist, who's had a spin earlier on, has had another life added onto his list. Car Mentalist is now your race leader, and it's now Car Mentalist versus Dexter for the race victory. Who would have called it? Our two favourites for the race victory is now third and fourth place. Luckily, the timing's just updated at the right time, so it did confirm that. But yeah, people are starting to make huge mistakes here in the last few minutes. We've got 6 minutes left to go. They can't be making these mistakes because it could definitely cost you. Ben has probably got way more damage than he thought. Schnitzel too as well. They're still having a good old battle for third place. This is for the spot on the podium now. But at least they're definitely putting on a great show. Do not miss this as well. And let us know if you want to see more ACC events. But after today, of course, we definitely do, as they head towards past Cops and heading into Magazine. Just these two, the closest battle on tracks.
Jump on board with Ben.
Ben,
Jump
yeah,
on board with Ben.
I was on board with Ben. I was on board with Ben.
Oh, yes.
This is intense from Ben Gallagher.
Maggots and Beckett's like, so yeah, he's still got that bit of damage here. He's had a bit of a spin. We're not 100% sure what happened. As I said, Car Mentalist. As soon as he joined the lobby, I did say he would be one to watch. He's been up and down, up and down. He's done my old ticker no good whatsoever, but he does now lead the race with Dexter. I did say Dex was the man primed to reap the rewards of some patient driving in fourth position. He is in second. The battle for third is just coming alive. We've got less than 5 minutes for left. And I'll tell you what, the battle for first place is absolutely not over and done yet. The Hamilton Straight, once again, a massive feature in this race. All four drivers managing to hold it tight, keep it clean, coming through into Abbey, Farm Curb, into Village, then the loop as we see Ben. Sorry, I'm jumping on board with Ben. I'm watching two screens here. There's just so much action. It's so difficult to keep up with what's going on. But yeah, I'm just watching Ben Gallagher here in the Mercedes. It looks like he's absolutely getting the drop on. Even with that damage, he is showing some unbelievable pace here, keeping up with drivers like Schnitzel, Dexter and Car Mentalist, who's now off in the lead. Of course, 18 drivers still with us. We did suffer a disconnect at the start. Okeke is going to finish the race in the pits. Alex Lillier is still fighting with Casper. There's a little battle. Sambo still trying to
side by side
on Connor, but it is
Alex Lillier.
Oh yes, he is. Talk us through it, Jess.
Here we go. So a little bit of a bump there from Casper, I believe. So that will give Alex Lillier an advantage as well as they head towards the Hamilton Straight then. Alex Lillier doing very, very well to try and see if he could get P9 at any small position. Does count. There's just so many battles happening on the racetrack. What's happened?
Back marker's taking out Ben.
Oh no.
There was a blue flag. To be fair, the
Storm.
blue flag.
That was Storm. I think I'm Storm.
Yeah, so in defence of the blue flag driver, he had no idea there was two cars behind him. They came around the corner in procession. The driver tried to move to let who he saw first, which was of course Schnitzel coming through, and unfortunately for him there was two cars. There was one car behind Schnitzel, which was Ben. So when our back marker moved over to let Schnitzel through as politely as possible, Ben unfortunately didn't really see what he was unsighted. The blue flag was unsighted, and Ben, well, that one has killed the podium battle there, Jess. He is sporting an extra bit of damage there on the front of that Indigo Lime Evo Racing McLaren. And yeah, heartbreaking there. We were being promised such a battle there. But that is a racing incident. We absolutely can't put any blame on the guy with the blue flag. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He wasn't to know there was two cars right on top of one another coming through Cops. But yeah, that's definitely going to compromise Ben for these last 2 minutes. Not even going to get on the podium, Jess. That's got to be a massive heartbreak, especially as Dex and Car Mentalist are now well within a second of one another and battling it out intensely to take top spot here.
Let us know in the chat, who do you think is going to come out on top? Is it going to be the Bentley of Dexter, or is it going to be the cat with 9 lives of Car Mentalist? Dexter hardly putting any foot wrong, has made really consistent battles with everybody. And who would have thought him on the lead? And the leader is on the final lap of this race. It is game on. Bentley versus Mercedes. Mercedes on top, just like in real life. Who would have thought it? But this time it's not a Red Bull, it's not a Ferrari. It is a Bentley in second place. Schnitzel looks like he's going to get third due to Ben Gallagher's damage, unfortunately, from the back marker, unfortunately. But this has been one of the best races I've ever seen from ACC. Dexter still looking very, very prime, but I don't think the gap's going to be small enough for him to actually get this move. So he's going to hope that Car Mentalist makes a mistake, but we've seen Car Mentalist spin a few times today, so it could happen. We don't know if anyone makes a mistake. We want everybody to be clean, but Dexter's probably helping that. Dexter, last ACC race last week, I believe, when you commentated on him, he finished second. He's second right now, so he likes second in ACC, I have to say. And I think he'll be pretty happy with that, with his ERT Stars car. Heading towards the Hamilton straight now for the final time. Final sector to go, and with 30 seconds left on the clock. And I don't think the order's going to change anytime soon, but I was not predicting this man to win the race. Originally, he said he was going to make the race originally. Last night, he said he wasn't going to make it. Then, like 5 minutes before the start of the race, just at the start of the race, he said, right, I'm going to make it now. And he's made the right decision in attending this race. Who would have thought him being on course to be winning this race? It's insane. I'll let you take us through the finish.
Yes, indeed. Well, I did like to say, I hate to blow my own trumpet, but as soon as he joined, I did say he would be my one to watch. That mistake he made fluctuated him up and down. He was leading the race, he was in second, he was made a mistake, he was back up, he's taken first place, and he is going to cross the line in his Indigo Line Racing colours very, very proudly indeed to take the top spot on the podium here at the inaugural OneHub ACC race event. Silverstone, 31-degree track temperature, and that stunning Mercedes crossing the line in first place, 1.1 seconds ahead of ERT Dexter. Another solid race. Schnitzel is going to take home third, with Ben Gallagher coming home in fourth place, our long-time race leader. Then ERT Kyle, second finisher for the ERT team, so not bad on his first showing for the ERT boys. And there's ART Connor in sixth, with Samba in seventh place. We've got Janelle coming across the line in eighth. Casper inside the top 10, fended off the advances of the man in 10th place. That is, of course, Alex Lilliard in the Porsche. Khalifa drive-through penalty. That absolutely did him no good whatsoever. He is going to bring it home, though, in 11th position. And Gazaman, very new to ACC, doing not too bad at all in the Bentley. He finished in 12th, and there is the boss man in the Lexus. Here he is, ERT's Nick Race Egan. I knew I was going to make that difficult for myself today. He is going to come home, and unlucky for some, but not for me. So well done, Nick Race Egan. 13th position for him. Lord Ash Wilson, bit of a technical issue at the start of the race, saw him starting in the pits, but he has fought back through from a starting position in 19th to get himself a glorious 14th position. So well done, Lord Ash Wilson.
Well, he is Lord
Bentley. Indeed, Lord Bentley, we'll go with that. There's Cam, whose name we shall not try and pronounce, is in 15th position in the Audi. There's Storham coming home in 16th, and Fleiss 17th position as well. We did have someone else finish. Oh, KK finished in the pits after suffering some terminal damage. And of course I saw live JM and Battle Angel both be so rudely disconnected by the ACC servers. Jess, action from start to finish. That has got to be, I mean, it's going to be tough for OneHub to beat that now. Let's face it, what an opening event that was from your guys.
To be honest, the drivers, they said they wanted to put on the show for us tonight, and this afternoon, and my, they definitely put on the show. But Ben Gallagher, I think the pressure got to him. He was so comfortable up front, and he's like, you know what, I could cruise it. But That just small mistake just hindered the race, and that gave the race win to Car Mentalist. And hopefully we can have all the guys in for a post-race interview very, very soon to hear their thoughts on how they thought the race has gone for them. But a lot of drivers of the day, I have to say, with quite a few people making positions, as I'm going to lead the servers. The servers just started itself up again, but a lot of contenders for driver of the day. But I'm going to hand it over to you first. Who is your driver of the day today?
Oof. Okay, good question. Car Mentalist has obviously got to be contender. He won the race. He did make a lot of mistake though. There wasn't many drivers that managed to keep it clean for the 45 minutes and not make any mistakes. You know what? It's a tough one. Between Car Mentalist and Dexter, I would say it's what could have been for Schnitzel without the blue flag, but yeah, definitely a coin toss for me. Between Dexter and Car Mentalist. I know it seems easy to say, you're picking the top two on the podium, but let's face it, both of those drivers had to work to get there and put in a very clean, crisp 45 minutes. So yeah, I would split the honours. I'm new here, so I'm going to sit on the fence. And I'm going to split judgment between the two of them. We'll let the guys in the chat. Let's face it, you guys watching, these are the most important ones. Who do you think? Put this commentator in his place. Give me one side of the fence to sit on. Who do I want to see? Who should my nomination be? Should it be Car Mentalist or should it be Dexter? We'll put it down to you guys. What about yourself, Jess? Who do you feel deserves that extra little pat on the back after their performance today?
Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn between the two as well. Car Mentalist, the cat of 9 lives, but I have to say, the man who kept it out of trouble and tried to avoid trouble. Well, he had to avoid trouble in this track, and he definitely did that. The guy that did not hardly made any mistakes today. My drive of the day has got to be Dexter. He kept it under control, and he could have won the race, but he just missed out. But I'm sure he'll be very happy nonetheless. He had a lot of fun as well with Car Mentalist. He probably was not expecting to be battling with the likes of Car Mentalist as well. And he just said in our lovely Discord chat that we had as well, he said, "Thank God I made it back in time," he said. So
yes, indeed. I
thought we had Dexter in the interview booth, but he's gone. So
he's just vanished. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I was getting ready to get stuck in there.
I was getting excited.
Oh, he's back again.
Right, I think it's. I'll let you drag him in whilst I sort out the cameras. So let's get our second place man first. Dexter.
Good afternoon, Dexter. How are we doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, my good man. Yes, indeed. How are you after that race?
I'm fine. I'm a little bit hot, I think.
Indeed. How do you feel your pit strategy played out? You took your pit slightly earlier than some of your competitors. Do you think it was your pit strategy played a big part in the race result, or do you think it was just the fact that you kept it very clean and consistent all the way to the end?
Maybe just keeping it clean and trying to be consistent on track, not taking too many risks at the start to get damage or something like that. So try to be a little bit conservative there and just just see where the race took me in a way, So there are always going to be incidents and stuff. So yeah, keep the nose clean, and that was the strategy.
Well, it certainly was. Jess, I know you've certainly got questions you're dying to ask Dexter as well. So I just dived straight in there and jumped on him as soon as he came in. But Jess, yeah, I know there's a couple of things you wanted to ask as well.
Yes, I did as well. When you saw the likes of Ben Gallagher lose it in the final few moments of the race, how important was it for you to keep calm? Because you must have thought, hang on, I could be in the shot with second place if not a win. What was your approach going to the last 10 minutes of the race knowing that Ben Gallagher's had a bit of a moment?
Oh, yeah, I saw them. We were really close, us four guys in front. And I saw them touching each other, and that was just my moment. Unfortunately, Car Mentalist was really good at keeping it clean and not doing mistakes, so I couldn't catch him. I think we were around the same pace or so. But P2, I'll take that. That's for sure. That was a good result for me.
Yeah, you like your P2s in ACC. You got one last week, you got one this week as well. And speaking of future ACC events we have at OneHubRacing, what track do you want us to drive next? Do you have any particular eye on what you want to race on next at OneHubRacing?
Nah, I haven't decided yet. I have a few in mind, but I'm not going to
Spa.
say it now.
Spa.
Ah, that's a great track. I love that. I love that.
That's the only track. Spa, Barcelona. That's the only two tracks. And everyone should drive Ferraris. Everyone should drive Ferraris.
No one drove Ferrari, so I'm gutted.
I usually drive Ferrari, but I can't make it work on this track, so I don't know why.
I always knew you were a cut above. A Ferrari man. I like to hear it.
Yes, I usually do. So I'll be in the Ferrari maybe for next event. That's for sure.
Yay!
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Well, I'll tell you what, Jess. We have the interview booth is filling up. We have Schnitzel. We also have our race winner, Car Mentalist.
Who should we get in first? Shall we? We'll do the winner last. We'll do Schnitzel next.
Okay, we'll do Schnitzel next. Let us get Schnitzel in. Dex, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry, bud, I'm getting myself overexcited here. Fantastic race. You were my joint winner of Driver of the Day because I hedged my bets with you and Car Mentalist. But yeah, fantastically well done and looking forward to seeing you on track again.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. And we are now joined by Schnitzel. Good afternoon, Schnitzel.
Good afternoon, guys.
There we go. How are you feeling after that race, my man?
Yeah, it was good fun, gotta say. Obviously, it helped a lot that both Mentalist and Ben spun. So that made it quite close towards the end, which was a good fight. But obviously, shame about what happened in the loop. I don't exactly know what happened there, so I don't really want to say anything about it. But it's just a shame. But that's how it is. I'm taking P3 though.
Yeah, P3. I mean, we did see the incident. It looked as if the blue flag moved out the way, and unfortunately, that it was at that point he revealed himself to Ben. Ben went one way, and you went the other. And Ben, unfortunately, did make contact with one of the blue flags, so that did deny us of that battle that was closing in. But it certainly must have been, as Jess was asking Dex previously, it certainly must have been a bit of a shock to the system to see Ben drop it so late in the race and bring you so quickly back into it and give you the opportunity to fight for a podium after he had such a solid start to the race.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as ACC is a simulation, mistakes happen quite quickly. So I was pumped about it, and obviously then waited my chance to overtake Ben into Maggots and Beckett's, which was a nice move. Yeah. Yes. That's it. That's basically it.
Nice.
But generally speaking, it was a very solid, solid, consistent race, with which I'm happy with, definitely.
Yeah, certainly would be too. Jess, do you have any questions for our third placed winner?
Well, I have to say, you definitely put a lot of practice to this event as well, and you're used to Formula One, and now you're doing a bit of ACC as well. Was it hard originally at the start of you doing ACC to transition to that, or was it plain sailing for you as well? Because we need some advice on people that just started in the ACC world potentially and just want to get into that sim. What is your advice to them in transitioning to the good simulation of Assetto Corsa Competizione?
Yeah, so as I said, ACC is a simulation, and obviously we are racing GT3 cars, we're not Formula 1 cars. So you can't race a GT3 car like it's a Formula 1 car, which I think a lot of people who come from that game struggle with. So yeah, just try to adapt to it. Just brake more, and just let the car roll more, and all of this. So yeah, there's not much to say. Just put in some time, and it will come naturally.
That is, I think, good advice there from our podium sitter of Schnitzel there. That's all my questions for Schnitzel.
Indeed. Well, Schnitzel, thank you very much for the time. Jess, I think we've got another two drivers in the commentary booth. I think
we're busy.
We are busy. We've got the race winner, Car Mentalist. We've also got Ben Gallagher. I think we've kept our viewers and the race winner waiting long enough. Let's face it, he was quick enough around the track. So let us quickly get ourselves some car mentalist action. He's in the commentary booth now. His mic will unmute any second now. Is he with us, car mentalist? Are you there, bud?
Can you hear us?
There we go.
I am here. Yes, I'm
There
alive.
we go. There we go. There we go. The man himself. As soon as you jumped into the race, I tipped you as my one to watch. I'm taking all the credit. You did give me a bit of a scare towards the end. I'm not going to lie. But for you, that race must have been as up and down as it gets. Qualified in 5th, very quickly up to 2nd, makes himself a little mistake, and then finds himself in 1st place. That was, a roller coaster. How did it go for you?
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't end up like that in other ACC leagues I race in at the moment. But yeah, it went pretty well. I mean, firstly, really lucky I was actually able to make the start of that race. So I'm really happy about that. I spent the first 5 or 10 minutes of qualifying sorting my setup out, so it was a bit of a quick turnaround. Quali, I wasn't really going for quali laps. I was just trying to get a feel for what the car felt like, and that just happened to translate for a P4 start, which actually was a lot better than I was expecting. And yeah, the race was okay. I think if neither me or Ben had made mistakes, I think Ben was too fast for me today. I think he would have won, hands down. I would have been comfortably 2nd. But yeah, my car was a little bit all over the place, if you couldn't tell. So, yeah, it was a bit up and down, but I made the moves when I needed to.
Oh, made the moves when you needed to. I hope somebody clipped it, because I'm going to go back and steal that overtake that you pulled on the way on the chicane into club. That was beyond heroic. And what you were saying about Ben's pace, that was magnified certainly with the pit stop. How did your pit stop go? Was it nice and quick? Because it seemed like you dropped 2 seconds to Ben coming out of there, and yeah, it did seem like Ben had that little bit extra pace on you today. But coming out the pits, I don't know if his tyres didn't sit properly on the outlap, and we'll certainly find out when we get him in. But how did your pit stop go? Nice and quick and smooth, or was there a mistake in the pit stop you felt you might have made?
I think I need to go back and practice pit stops, because my pit stop was fine. There was no delay. There was no delay in getting the car refired at the end of the pit either. Mm-hmm. It felt fine to me, so I was surprised I lost 2 seconds to Ben. I thought it would have at least remained stagnant. So maybe my outlap wasn't the best. The Mercedes doesn't tend to handle low tire pressures very well, so
no.
It was a little bit all over the place on my outlap. So that might have been where the majority of the time I lost to Ben might have been on that outlap. But beyond that, no, it was fine. So yeah, I was surprised to lose a bit of time to him. Maybe he's got a little trick up his sleeve.
Yeah, well, yeah, he perhaps does, because I tell you, if you watch the race back, and I'm sure you will, I genuinely thought you'd massively closed the gap. So to see that extra 2 seconds, I did wonder. Because let's face it, Ben had pace, but I don't think he had 2 seconds over 2 laps pace on you. So yeah, you'll need to, maybe you need to get him in and question him about that. Sorry, I'm hogging the race winner. Jess, please, he's just won your first, the inaugural One Hub event with what a drive as well.
Yeah, you driven absolutely amazing. Now you were like the cat. I called you on the stream the cat of 9 lives, because you really were. Like you made mistakes at the start, and you still managed to get on to the top step. How important was it to keep your mentality positive at that race, knowing you had that spin earlier on?
It was, yeah, it's really important. I think Raven, of all people, will know that I tend to give up sometimes after mistakes happen, just because on ACC...
He's a passionate driver.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But when people make mistakes on ACC, they tend to be fairly rare, because obviously the skill of driving on ACC is really, really high. So it's rare you see people make big mistakes. So after my spin, I was kind of downtrodden, but I knew after the spin and I'd recovered, I was directly behind. I think it was Dexter. I was directly behind. So I thought I can still at least get a podium from this. So that kept me going. And then my eyes turned into stars when I saw Ben was spun at Cops. So it all came back in the end. But yeah, I think the key thing for me was knowing that there was still something to get out of the race, even after the spin, and knowing that at Silverstone, if anyone makes a mistake, it punishes you quite heavily. So there's always the possibility of something happening.
Yeah, just like in Formula One when people make mistakes as well. So it's not just ACC. So
Yes.
lesson learned if you're racing Silverstone very, very soon. So yeah.
Yes, indeed. A lesson our drivers have taught us well, and one that, yeah, I'd love to embrace, but I'm nowhere near quick enough to make the type of mistakes that these drivers make. So, yeah, I'm not particularly worried about that. But yeah, Carmentis, what a drive that was. I did say you and Dexter definitely. I've split my decision on driver of the day. I've got splinters in my rear end from sitting on the fence. But yeah, a phenomenal performance, and to come in, yeah, just that last minute and get it all done and dusted. 5 minutes into qualifying, still getting yourself set up. So yeah, certainly was an absolutely heroic drive. So congratulations once again. We do have, Jess, one more man in the awaiting interview, and that is Ben Gallagher. So should we get our long-time race leader in and see if we can't find out exactly what went
happened?
wrong for the poor man?
Yeah, we should. Let's go.
Let's get him in and see what he's got to say.
Ben
And
Gallagher.
There we go. Ben Gallagher, welcome to the stream. I mean, yeah, it's hard to be overly happy for you, I suppose. Yeah, led the race for a long time. Bit of a mistake there. What led, can I ask? There we go, he's joined us now. Ben, did you hear me there? Sorry.
Yeah, heard all good. Yeah.
Yes, heard all, yes.
Good.
So tell me, that initial damage, we didn't see what caused the initial damage on the front of your car late on in the race, my friend. What happened there?
That was down at Cops Corner, really. So after the pit stop, I'd done a few small bits. So I was spent a few laps trying to save a bit of fuel to the end. I was close, so I just wanted to be safe, and I had a decent lead. So I went in in fifth for a change, and the rear just went. No bump, no curb, no nothing. It just went round. I tried to save it, I snapped it, but it just snapped back the other way and into the wall. I got it reversed out then, just ahead of Schnicksel, but and I held him for a lap then, but coming to Cops then the next lap, there was just no front down force. So I just went straight on. I was saying that whole lap, I was like, he's not getting by me. No, I'm not losing this. And then just straight on at Cops, and I was like, right, okay, maybe we'll just try salvage podium, but it's even that. And then there was contact with Schnitzel, of course, which I've yet to go apologise to him about. I was just coming through the loop. Carmentis was just coming close as well. So I just had the eye in the mirror, really. And then he breaks a small bit early. He takes a tight line into the left of the loop, does Schnitzel, and I just wasn't ready for that. I had the eyes in the mirrors.
Right,
so I did wait for him in the end, but and then was following him for a few laps. Came across a back marker who wasn't really sure where he wanted to go. Got a bit more damage, and that was P4.
Yep. Right, okay, so there was a bit of contact previously, right? So we did wonder about that, and then, yeah, the back marker incident. It's such a shame, Ben. After all that drive leading from the front, you come into the interview room and we're talking about a race plagued with incidents. I did mention that obviously the front damage on these cars, carbon fibre, as everyone in here knows. The slightest bit of damage, your aero downforce, you already touched on. That blue flag, though, that really, yeah, that did just look like someone, a train of cars, he didn't realise there was two there, and perhaps, didn't quite know where to put the car and left you with pretty much no place to go. And that was just, again, turn one sent you off into the sand with plenty of damage and some dusty tyres and the podium disappearing off in the distance. It must have been a bit of a painful one, but you kept your head together and managed to scrape together a fourth place. So could have been worse, or is that how we're looking at this, or is it definitely, do you feel, a race win loss?
You were there last week, Raven, at the British night last week. Same track and the same car. You know, it could have gone off. It went worse there.
Yes.
Let's just say that I didn't see the checkered, but
yes, indeed.
So you did better than last week, then.
At least, I when I did fall back to fourth behind Schnicksel after our contact, I said let him by, but I'm going to battle him for that podium. I'm going to try and get it, and then I'm not sure who it was in the McLaren ahead of us, but he just wasn't really keeping an eye out, and he swerved to avoid Schnicksel, and then didn't see me. But it is what it is. P4 is better than where I could have ended up going straight on at Mad Beckets.
Yes.
But it is what it is. There's not much I could have done about that car spinning the Cops, I don't think. I drove all right today. I had a good quali, had a very good quali. had a good race, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
Very good lap as well from you in that quali session. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was very impressive as well. We thought we said that someone was going to get in the 158, and then boom, you put in a stronger lap, which astonished me. But anyway, when you knew that you were going to be out of race contention for the win, what was your mentality going into the end of that race, knowing that you could miss out on that? Did you just want to give up there and then, or was your main focus is just to see the checker flag after what happened last week?
Well, it was originally, like I said, that contact with Schnick, so that, there's always that in the back of your head, like, you've balled this now, you've thrown away the whole lot. And the same thing after spinning the cops, but in the end, it's just a bit impractical, you've got to focus on what's right in front of you on the road and go after it. And up until I hit the back marker, I was not going to let Schnicksel have that podium, not a hope. But then, of course, the car ended up getting severely damaged at the back marker, but still, after that, then I was like, right, okay, we'll just keep going and we'll stick to fourth, and that's as much as we're going to get today. But like I said, at least we got that.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Sorry, Jess, treading all over you again. I know, but what an exciting afternoon, Ben. I know it's not much of consolation to you, it might be, but the entertainment and the drama that you guys provided for OneHub's inaugural race will go down in sim racing history, I can assure you. I go back for nothing else. I know you probably got the Carmentalist overtake going into club. My goodness me, what a move that was. So many highlights to go back and watch, Jess. And yeah, as I said before, from OneHub's point of view, an absolutely cracking way to start your ACC account.
Yeah, thanks to all the drivers today for putting on a great show for all of us. Well done to our race winner, Car Mentalist, as well. And we'll be having more ACC events like this in the near future. So if you want to find out what's happening with that, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at OneHubRacing. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, I've already mentioned Twitter, Instagram and Twitch as well for more information, as well as follow us on Twitch if you haven't already, because I know some of you that watch our streams but don't follow us on Twitch. We are new to Twitch, so make sure you give us a follow, that'll be great. If you follow us on all of our social medias, you can be into a giveaway as provided by our sponsors Next Level Racing, where you can win a GT Light cockpit. Also thanks to our other sponsors as well, 3M Sim Racing for providing gloves to the most pole positions and most fastest laps in the F1 leagues. Also to our other sponsors, Liam RBS, who are providing trophies, Vespertine, as well as ERT Elite Racing Team. Unfortunately, that's all we got time for today's stream, John.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. That is all we have for this outing. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to the drivers for taking the part and putting on an absolutely unbelievable show. Thank you to OneHub for having me here to preside over the proceedings. We'll hopefully see you all again very soon. And with that, it is a good night from me.
And it's a good night for me.
Good night, everyone.
And we'll see you soon.